Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sanderlanche podcast. We are doing Tress of the Emerald Sea, chapters 52 to 58. In these chapters, we get some great banter back and forth between Crow and Tress and the dragon, Shisis, Gazisis, I don't know, your preferred pronunciation. It's a grand old time. You get the feeling the dragon is really enjoying this, and Tress comes out on top, which be a very surprising book if she didn't, but maybe she'd find some way out of it. I don't know. She gets back on the boat. She is now the captain, which awesome. And the crew are just ready to follow her into the midnight sea. They do not give a fuck. The only one who does give a fuck, as it turns out, is Hank. Hank the rat just does not want a bar of it and tries to sabotage things. And eventually, Tress decides, okay, I can't. Like, there's no food left because Hank convinced Hoyd to get rid of it all. So she says, I'm going in a little boat and I'm just taking the rat with me. And yeah, she encounters a monster, and then Hank turns out, oh, this was his mission all along, apparently, or something. Shit's crazy, yo. I'm Dak, and with me this week is
Jaymee.
Data.
And Joe.
I'm also feeling a bit raspy this week, so if I sound a bit there, that's why. Enjoy. Hang on to something, everyone. The Sandlanche is about to begin.
Daughter of the Dune, terror of the West. Sail the coast of Ireland with O'Malley on her crest. Sailors on the blue, shaking in their cots, feeling the foreboding of the terror that she wrought. Up the hull and away we go, stock the galley of gold. Whack the nibble again to blow, we matter above the hold. Dance along on the waterline, speed of some of the waves. Back to back on the borderlines to never shut out of the aim.
So yeah, 7 more chapters, and we are one more episode after this before we wrap up the book. So we are right there up against the end. What did you guys think of these 7 chapters? And Jaymee, I was sad you missed the last time because you and Dak both called Tress turning the tables on Crow, which I never would have called in a million years. So do you feel vindicated about that as well?
Yeah, I love how that went down. I don't think I would have seen it happening the way it happened. But as soon as she was like, oh, yeah, conscious I've missed a couple of weeks. So if I am covering things before that aren't in these chapters, sorry everyone, you just have to bear with me. When she was like, oh, actually I'm just gonna copy what you said and let's see how that pans out. I got stuff to lose. You got nothing to lose. Let's give it a shot, I thought that was really fun. Really, really fun. Yeah, I feel like coming into that moment, I was like, I know Tress is going to find a way out of this. There's still book to read. It doesn't end here. How? I don't know. And I think I was starting to think it would be she will be taken on and the dragon will let her go, or it's more in the dragon's interest for Tress to move on with her task, or I don't know how that was going to work out. But yeah, to just flip it like that and then just hear some, valid arguments from either side. I loved the civility of the dragon. Just the great visual as well. The head on the front legs, just watching it unfold. It's like that dragon knows exactly what it's doing, having a great time. But I'm so pleased with how it turned out. Yeah, I don't know if it was like evidence based that yep, she will swap it around or she'll find a way to best Crow down there. I think it was more a hope, but it definitely lived up to exactly what I wanted out of that.
Yeah, I feel like you get the impression that the dragon, like you said, is having a good time, and this is not what happens every day when someone comes to trade him, that he gets to watch a sparring match, a verbal sparring match.
Exactly. Additionally, from the last couple of weeks, I'm really enjoying seeing Tress work with the spores and get more comfortable. Her flare gun's really cool. And just, I think there was that moment, it must have been in the previous set of chapters where she was growing the vines and she was like, oh, wait, no, I don't actually, I've got a bit of control over this. I don't need to be scared of this. I thought was a really cool moment. And, she can, unlock a whole new, it's not like really a set of abilities, but a confidence that she's able to do more with this than she realized. And there's probably a whole bunch of sprouters who don't really know like that level of confidence in the spores as well. How many Sprouters just come into being a Sprouter because they're in the right place, right time. But so seeing her grow that way, I think was really cool. And then to be able to use that to like hold up the ship and everything, I thought that was so cool. Yeah, and then there's kind of this like level of confidence and taking that down to the dragon to be like, I love how much of this story seems to be just like, you know what else to do? I'm just going to give this a go and hope that it works. And it seems to be working. I loved coming into these chapters, I guess, once Tress was named captain and she's trying to figure things out. Yeah, she's running out of ideas, obviously. And then she's got her friends come to help. I was like, oh, look at this crew. It's nice to have a crew. I can't believe that I was like suspicious of clearly the wrong people. Should have been more suspicious of Hank. And not so bad. I was really waiting for you to be the bad guy, but it turned out you just needed glasses. So, that's kind of sad for you, Anne. But I love the dynamic of these characters together, and then seeing the other characters sort of come together as well. Like this is a united crew. It's more united than so many other crews, even sailing under the King's banner. But maybe it is that piece of redemption that they're looking for. They know what they've done was wrong and following Crow was wrong. So yeah, I actually love this story of them coming together. I feel like you kind of get to this point in some books and it's like it's all fallen apart. She's got to go solo. But they're not going to give up on her, and I really like that. Hank, my man, I really didn't see this from you. I don't think I was suspicious of him at all. And he's clearly got his own motives and clearly got more going on than we realized. And I mean, he is a talking rat that seems to know a lot about a lot of things. I feel like on some level, probably should have seen some of that coming, but yeah, I have zero ideas about what's going on with him. I feel like this is definitely something he could have said earlier, but it's, he might have a bit of a mission or he's got to come back or whatever to the sorceress, but it doesn't sound like he wants to. He's pretty reluctant.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I don't think it's an all-out case of can't trust him entirely, but you can't necessarily trust everything he's said or done up to this point, that it's been in the direction of what Tress has wanted. It hasn't been an honest discourse between them. I did love the visual of him in his little pirate hat, though. I thought that was really sweet. And I think he should adorn a hat all the time. But honestly, like this book has just been fun. I've really loved it from start to almost finish. Like you said, we've got one more episode to go. There's still a lot that's got to go down in this one episode.
Yep. It's always we get to the end and you're like, how is Brandon going to wrap this up? Every time, I feel like.
Yeah, and I think, I know I've said it before, I build up these stories because we're so used to the big, epic series, especially coming out of, book 3 Stormlight. I've really just tried to let go that I'm looking for a big convoluted story and just kind of go along for the ride this time. And I think I've probably got more enjoyment out of it for doing so. So yeah, can't wait to see what comes next.
Yeah, so much stuff that we didn't get to talk about before. But I was, when we did all the Tress has been experimenting with the spores and we're learning kind of the science of how stuff works. I was like, usually Jaymee is into like the science parts of it, so I bet that she'll enjoy that part. So
yeah, I thoroughly appreciated that.
And you mentioned the how the crew came together, and I think it's such an amazing moment in this section of chapters that we read when Tress has that realization that she's like, I don't have to figure all this out on my own. Like, I have these people who want us to succeed. Like, this is new ground that she's treading, and it's super sweet.
Great lesson in leadership and management, isn't it?
Right? Yeah. Unlike Crow's leadership, which was a very different style.
Very.
Yep, fun stuff. I like the brisk pace this just maintains throughout these chapters. The scene with the dragon, fucking hilarious. I was like, yeah, we talked about it last week just because the fact the dragon said nothing when they first got down there. I'm just like, how's he gonna react? And then he's just like, all right, I'm game. Let me just snuggle in here and listen to what you both make your cases. Yeah. Plus, he's dropping a whole bunch of knowledge nuggets. He knows Hoyd's real name. or at least the name that we've heard back in Secret History, which was
Mhm.
interesting. And he's like, I don't fear Hoyd, but I do fear the sorceress. I'm like, ooh, okay. Hype for the sorceress just continues to build because like this is a fucking dragon. These guys don't fuck around. So who is
Yeah.
the sorceress? Like we need that now.
If he's worried, maybe we should be worried. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because like we don't know like the upper limits of a dragon's power, but like we assume, like we're fairly certain, I think that Adonalcium was one. Do we have that confirmed? I don't remember. Anyway,
No, that's Joe's theory, I remember, but we definitely haven't heard anything for or against that in the text, I don't think.
right, okay, but yeah, it's like even so, dragons are beings of quite significant power. Even Hoyd's narration has like given us at least broad strokes of that. So if something of that magnitude is afraid of the sorceress, I'm like, what is she? Is she the shard of this planet? Or the hosts of the shard? I don't know. Like, yeah, I need to see her power and what she can do now. So that aside, she came back up. It was really cool that she got the little bits and pieces for Anne and Fort and Soleil. I like the stuff we've been getting with Laggett in these chapters. Like he's just genuinely not sure what to do, and Hoyd makes a point. It's like that was just how he was raised. That's how he thought people reacted, and to be shown true and unselfish kindness. It's just fucking rocked his world, and he doesn't know how to react. I'm like, oh man, I wasn't expecting to feel for fucking Laggett.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, and then Hank, what the fuck is going on with him? Like Jaymee said, I have absolutely no idea. Obviously, he knows more, and he's known more the whole time. But all right, so I assume he fears going back to the sorceress. But like, it seems like above all else, he just wants to stay alive. So like, he's just pulled out the last hope that he has when the monster confronts them. It's like, yeah, it's me. I'm back. Come on, take me to the boss. So I guess like he's a lot like Tress. He's just like, all right, let's just do this now and figure it out. Like this will buy us some time. So yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah, so many question marks around Hank now where it's like, wait, what? Like the very end of the section we read is just like, what?
Yeah, bomb
Yeah.
dropped.
And that's after the whole like betrayal thing, which is a big enough thing in itself. Like, wow, okay, that was messed up, dude.
Yep. Yeah, it's just again like, all right, so he is desperate to not go back to the sorceress, but then when the monster shows up, he's like, let's fucking go. So yeah, just a lot to unpack with Hank. So I guess we'll find out what the go is.
Yeah, yeah. It's how weird is it that Tress runs across this like completely coincidentally this talking rat who apparently comes from there is kind of the impression I think the end of that chapter gives us. I don't know.
The way you say that makes me suspicious.
Yeah, you did say that in a super suspicious way.
How coincidental is it that this just happens, guys?
No, I mean, like seriously, that's. I feel like that's one of the reasons.
No, Data's messing with us. I'm not into this. This is not cool.
I feel like that's one of the reasons we've trusted him this whole time is because it's like she accidentally ran into this rat. There is no way that I can think of that you could manipulate the situation to have like forced her and the rat together intentionally. So like I feel like that's a reason that we've had trust here because it's like, well, obviously like he can't be a plant. How would that make any sense? And now it's like, oh, okay. Like I'm just saying, I feel like this adds deeply to the confusion of the situation.
Yeah, but now that you're saying that, it's making me think maybe he was a plant. He was a plant all along. How was he a plant?
He was a plant.
If you can
Not
come
like
up
the-
with
not
a
like the vine
workable
plant.
theory for how that would, how somebody could have gotten Tress and the rat together on purpose, I will be impressed.
Well, maybe that wasn't. Maybe the goal wasn't Tress. Maybe it was something else. But now you're making me super suspicious.
Yeah. All right, I'll
Okay,
think about it and see if I can come up with something by predigments.
Fair. All right.
Yeah, these chapters are great. You know, the turning the tables on Crow. I think that's kind of what we expected. I don't think I expected it to go quite that way because it seemed at first like it wasn't going well for Tress, and then the dragon's like, "Nah, you're making a lot of sense. I'll take you. I'll take her." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" The conversation kind of got weird near the end there. But yeah, no, great stuff. Fun to turn the tables on an enemy in that way. Super good fun. Yeah, and it's nice. Like Tress, we know Tress is a thoughtful person. She's like, oh, I don't need a boon. And he's like, no, you don't. The dragon. I don't know if it's like some kind of magical contract he has to fulfill, but he's like, no, literally, I have to give you something. It's like that's the way this works. She's like, oh, okay. Well then, can I have like 3 small things? And then yeah, she helps her friends out. Of course, Anne can't see because she needs glasses. Why? I did any of us like predict that? That it makes too much sense. Like she can't see. That's why she needs like she can't aim at anything. She needs glasses, of course.
I did like the comment though that it was like it's kind of like some whole problem. Like I think she's still a bad aim. She just couldn't see.
Yeah. It's like who knows if that is like, but obviously she can't learn to aim if she can't properly see. So
I think 2 episodes, last episode or the one before, the one where Tress lets her try shooting the cannon. I think you, Joe, were asked the questions like, does she have like a visual impairment or something? In, like,
I
just
don't
in
remember that,
passing?
but if I
And
did, yeah.
I was sitting here like, oh man, he nailed that, but it was just like a passing comment. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that makes more sense, right? Like, of course she can't see. And yeah, like she really put some thought into each of the gifts that she got. I mean, Fort's need was very obvious, right? He just lost his way of communicating. That was pretty obvious that he was in dire like emotional stress over that. Having had that gift of being able to communicate with other people and then having it taken away. But yeah, the thing for Anne and like getting the information for Soleil about where her dad is, like it was all, Tress is a nice gal. Yeah, Hank/Huck betrayal. Like I don't know. Now Data's made me super suspicious. I didn't come into the episode being suspicious, except to be like, wonder what's going on with that. But now I'm super suspicious, and so I don't know. I'll have to think on that during the episode and see if I can come up with something. And then her going, her friends helping her. Yeah, there's like it's a real feel good moment until we get the betrayal and then the second sudden, maybe inevitable betrayal. And so that's a Firefly joke for everybody. And so I'm just excited to see the ending. I want to know what happens. Of course, now I'm like in my brain, all I can think about is who is Huck/Hank. What is this deal? What's happening here?
See, so I'm curious though, because at first it seems like Hoyd has maybe not maliciously, but it's Hoyd's fault that all the food is gone. So did you guys like buy into that? Because it's revealed pretty quickly. It's like, well, Hoyd didn't come up with this on his own. There was additional whatever. But you get for like a page where it's like, man, Hoyd just idiot threw all the food out.
I really didn't kind of buy it because I was like, what would his motivation be just because he's stupid? And then when they explain it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I mean, obviously that makes sense. He didn't come up with the idea on his own.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's like it was over and done with too fast. It's like Hoyd did this, and then bang, it's revealed straight away. It's like it wasn't him. Like, well, yeah, like I know he's a thundering dumbass right now, but like he's still been a good worker on the ship. Like the curse has not affected him being a good seaman.
Sure, what he does on the ship. He's the cabin boy, is what we're told. Have we seen him working?
Well, now if I recall my Muppet Treasure Island, the cabin boy helps out with like the meals and stuff, so that he has access to the stores. There you go.
That's true. I don't know that we've seen him helping Fort, but also I don't know that Fort would want him helping.
Yeah, I would love.
Is he gonna make the food worse?
Yeah.
Well, okay, fair.
I would love Hoyd to just start singing. He's like, "There's gotta be something better, something better."
Okay, so now I'm trying to cast all of the people on the ship as Muppets. Yeah. Like, who's Fort? If like,
Fort's like
fluffy guy's name.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Sweetums. Yep.
Yeah, Sweetums.
I could see that. Yeah. Okay.
Babyface eating O'Brien.
Aye.
Maybe Anne. Anne feels like a Gonzo to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
and,
I can see that.
Does Huck have to be Rizzo?
I can't. He probably kind of does, right? Like I don't know who else.
Oh yeah, he does. He's a lovable coward as well as being a rat.
Yeah, no, it all fits.
It's all coming together now.
That
you've,
guy in my book club who
listeners-
steals my opinions.
Yeah. Listeners, if you've never seen Muppet Treasure Island, it's a treasure of a film, not to add another pun on top, but
One of the best Muppet films, Tim Curry. On Don't Gaslight Me, Jesus, we conflicted on whether Muppet Treasure Island or Muppet Christmas Carol is the better Muppet
I
movie.
think Treasure Island's
Oh.
better. I like
I was
Christmas
gonna-
Carol, but I think Treasure Island's better.
I was gonna say Christmas Carol's the better one. There'll be times I'm just like, no, I want to watch the pirate one more, but I think overall as a movie, Christmas Carol is the better.
See, for me, it's like Christmas Carol's been done so many times that it's like while I appreciate the film, to me it's like a Christmas movie. So the times I would want to watch it just personally are limited to Christmas time. Whereas with Muppet Treasure Island, like I'll watch that anytime.
That's fair. I think I like the Christmas Carol. Like it's like actually just one of the better adaptations of Dickens's book because it has Gonzo narrating Dickens's actual lines.
Yeah.
So I think it's like
That part
as an
I do like.
So I think just as an adaptation, it works more. It's like I still like this is not to downgrade Muppet Treasure Island. It's still an amazing movie, but yeah, I think Christmas Carol is just the better one.
And it's hard to beat Michael Caine in that movie, although
Mhm.
Tim Curry is also amazing in the other. So
What's
Yeah.
what's that meme online? It's like Michael Caine works so well because he treated the Muppets like fellow actors, and Tim Curry works so well because he treated himself like a fellow Muppet.
I buy
Fellow
that.
Muppet.
Yeah, no. Okay, let's get into these chapters before we go down that rabbit hole more.
Is that what you guys want for Patreon? A commentary track of Muppet Treasure Island / Muppet Christmas Carol?
Oh man, dueling Muppet movie commentaries. Yeah, sure. Okay, so we left off last time with the Crow being like, "Okay, here's the slave that I'm going to trade you, Great Dragon," and then Tress being like, "Okay, here's the slave I'm going to trade you, Great Dragon." And when we come in to the chapter, The Sacrifice, the dragon goes, "What?" And Crow goes, "What?" And Tress is like, "Oh yeah, she'll make a great slave. She's super strong. I can show you the bruise that I have on my stomach to prove that. And she's not afraid of spores at all. She just used Midnight Aether earlier today." Which, yeah, all true.
Yeah. And Dragon's like, this is the greatest Uno reverse I've ever seen.
But Crow is about to just like, it says forcibly shut her up. And the dragon's like, no. No fighting in here. One of you is going to be my servant, and I don't like damaged property. And so then they get into like a debate about which one is the better choice to be taken as a servant. And the dragon's just like, okay, yeah, let's hear your arguments. Why not? And it notes, to the horror of both women, he looked amused. And he's just like, oh, go on. You have a response to what she just said? And Crow tries to sell the fact that not only is Tress not scared of spores, she's an expert in spores. She designed this brand new gun that shoots spores. And the dragon's like, oh, really? Like, yeah, I'm not very smart, though, is Tress's attempt to argue back. And Tress tries to be like, oh, well, Crow has experience leading people. She'd make a great, like, overseer for servants. And Crow's like, whatever. Tell him the truth about my crew. They hate me, don't they, Tress? Admit it. And so Crow's argument is that she sucks and everyone hates her. So
I like how the dragon's like, that's a good point. Good point.
yeah, it's hard to argue,
Everyone hates me. I'm just awful. That's why I'd be bad at this.
That's why you don't want me around, Dragon, because I suck.
Like the weirdest job interview ever.
Yeah, right. I want to go to a job interview where they put you and another candidate in, and you have to argue over which one of you is better for the job. I don't want to go to that interview. Actually, that was a lie.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, it sounds.
Yeah, I mean, if the job was being a
both
slave, then yeah, I mean, I could see not wanting to do it and wanting to do it. It's like I don't want to be a slave, so.
And I like the dragon even just accepts. Like everyone is saying Crow sucks, so he's like, okay, well, Tress, you're losing ground here. I can't see a reason why I'd want this piece of filth in my domain when I could have an even-tempered, well-liked, and skilled person. Damn, that was like he went hard against Crow real fast with that piece of filth line, but she's going for it. Crow goes, you should have tried to be more awful, girl.
And Crow's like, that's right. I'm a piece of shit.
And the dragon's like, hey, why don't you want to be my servant? Like, I don't know what you've heard, but they're treated really well here. There's no disease. You'll have engaging work, regular meals, books in your off hours.
To be honest, like he's saying all this, and I'm just like, this does sound like a pretty sweet gig, actually.
Yeah, I mean the conditions are good.
I'd want to know more details. Like you say, off hours. So do I get like what are my working hours? How often do I get breaks? What's the dental plan like? You know?
Yeah, do I get like a smoke break, or like if I don't smoke, do I not get a smoke break? Because that's a whole thing in society that seems real weird to me.
You get more breaks if you smoke. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tress is like, look, I'd be a bad servant because the guy I love is being held captive, and I'm gonna free him. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, I'm not going to stop trying to get away. You'll never be able to trust me to do anything without supervision because every moment I will be looking for a way out. And I'll find it. Even if I have to collapse your entire cave and walk through the spores. I will find the sorceress and I will save the man I love. And the dragon's like, wait, you're going to see the sorceress? Shit, maybe I should take you. Like, it would be a mercy to... And he's like, you know what? I believe you, girl. You're too driven to make a useful servant.
Does he like awaken the cloth here, like Warbreaker style, just to gag Crow?
That definitely appears to be what happens. He waves a hand in her direction, and cloth wiggles as if it's alive and whips itself around her face, gagging her. So, yep. Unless dragons have some sort of equivalent of that we don't know about. Yeah, that looks like what happened.
Yeah, maybe.
And he tells Tress, I believe you. You wouldn't make a good servant. And he looks over, he's like, at Crow, she really is awful, isn't she? And Tress is like, yeah, sorry, man.
What are you going to do?
Well, I suppose I do need someone to scrub floors now that I've promoted Lily. I wonder where she got promoted to. Like,
Yeah,
it's good to know that there's upward mobility in the dragons.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, who's Lily? What did she get promoted to? And how does the promotion system work? I want to know.
Yeah, it's like, hey, taking a role in my organization, there's room for growth.
That's great to know, actually. Yeah.
Career growth.
Do you get better books if you get promoted, or
it's like these are level 1 through 3 servant books.
Yeah.
These are level 4 through 5 servant books.
So when you're the floor scrubber, it's nothing but dinosaur erotica.
Oh man! No, poor Crow.
God, I think I'd rather die.
And he says that if you've really made all of these like scientific advances, then if I took you out of society, I would be like stunting the growth of your planet, and I'll use that as my excuse for letting you go.
There you go. It's a dragon who's aware of like his own interference into the world. So,
and she's like, "Wait, excuse?" As if to be like, "Why would you need an excuse?" And he just goes, "Yes, excuse." He said, making it clear he would explain no further. So that makes me curious. Like, wait, what? And he goes, so what is the payment you request? Which last time we tried to guess, like, what payment would Tress ask for? I don't think anyone really hit on it. But Tress hadn't thought about it. She's like, wait, payment? Oh, right. I don't know that I can take payment for selling a person. Which, good on you, Tress.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to be in the slave business.
Admirable line to take.
But he tells her, actually, you're saving her life because I can heal the disease. And I didn't want to tell her during the negotiations, but it only lasts a year or two, and then you have to come back again. So her only shot at long-term survival is staying with me.
I'm really disappointed we didn't see Crow like responding to that. Like just like start trying to fight the gag and start shouting angrily.
And after he says this, because I agree, like I want to see Crow's reaction to that. But after he says this, I had no doubts that he was telling the truth until you get to the next paragraph, and Tress is like, if he is lying, then that's a really smart thing to say to make Crow not try to escape. I was like, oh wow, she's gotten sneaky.
Yeah, because that's true. Like I didn't doubt him. I'm like, oh, okay, that's how the dragon magic works. You got to be around him. But then yeah, it's like, well, that's a genius way to make her not want to run away. It's like, oh no, you can't leave or you will die.
Yeah. And so the dragon's like, but I got to give you something. What do you want? However little I think the trade was worth, I gotta give you something. And she's like, can you remove a sorceress curse? No, and I'm not going to help your quest. There's precisely one being I fear on this planet, and no, your friend Sophandrius doesn't count. So, not scared of the Khandra, not scared of Hoyd. I don't know if it's just because he's stupid at the moment, or if the dragon just wouldn't be scared of Hoyd otherwise. The sorceress he's scared of.
Interesting that like he just straight up knows, oh yeah, I know Hoyd is with you. And no, I don't give a shit. It's like, so what's the limit of his, like, he's got some sort of omniscience. Maybe not full omniscience, but like he's definitely aware of things that are not happening in his domain.
Yeah. He's got some knowledge. Maybe he's got some raven spies or something too. Who knows?
Hmm.
All those seagulls we kept seeing around, being like, how the hell are they living out here? They're friends with the dragon.
Actually, dragon birds.
Dragon birds. And Tress goes, I mean, I don't really want anything, but wait, whoa, hold on. What about 3 small boons instead of 1 large one? Which honestly, I don't know how rare in the wide universe the tablet things are that Fort had, but given the technological level of this planet for the most part, I feel like that's kind of a big ask. But maybe he just has like a closet full of them, who knows. So yeah, she comes back up the tunnel with 3 packages, and Laggert is standing up there and sees her and not the captain, and they kind of look at each other, and then it says his brain caught up to his eyes, and his common sense came huffing up behind that with an ache in its side, and he lowered his gun and backed away. And the dogs and her friends come up and they start cheering, and Anne's like, how'd you do it? And Tress goes, the captain probably should have gagged me. Take note, Anne, if you ever go to make an important deal, make certain your payment can't speak for itself. Just in case that comes up, you know? But yes, she got things for Anne and Soleil and Fort. She gives Anne a pair of glasses. Ulam is treating Fort and Soleil. And he was just explaining the benefits of the various noses he could provide. And then the note from Hoyt, I've always wanted to try the one that can't smell cheeses. I wonder how you get out cheeses specifically. Whatever. So Anne gets some glasses. Fort gets a new board. Much like, but I don't know if it's exactly like his old one. And Soleil gets an envelope. And Anne seems like, it says that she walks up holding the glasses like they're a dead mouse. And Tress goes, the dragon says you have something called micropsia. He gave a technical explanation, but I didn't understand it. Anyway, basically, the spectacles will help you. I looked up micropsia, and like things look way smaller than they are. I don't know that accounts in my mind for her being like 30 degrees off with firing at something, but whatever.
Yeah. If anything, you'd think the aim would be better because it's small.
Yeah,
No.
if like it's getting smaller towards the center of itself in your vision, then yeah, you'd be aiming more. Yeah, I don't know. I guess the dragon knows what he's about. And Soleil gets the location of her father. So the dragon really does have some serious sources of information. He found where one slave, not enslaved, indentured guy is in the entire planet. And Soleil's like, Philostrate City? I searched Philostrate City. And it's like, yeah, the dragon says he got there 6 months ago. Damn it, that was right after I left. And yeah, they make Tress the captain. And Tress be like, well, Soleil, you should be captain. She's like, no, I can't be captain. I have to make sure the captain is making good decisions. That's what a first mate is for. And Tress goes, what? But see, you're trying to make a bad decision, captain. Look how good I am at my job. I love that interaction. It's so fun. And Tress is like, okay, fine. Let's sail for the Midnight Sea. And then one of the most interesting, the last line of part 5, one of the most interesting bits in the entire book to me, where she says, if I'm the captain, I'm going to claim Crow's bed. Don't wake me up unless Death himself has shown up, nails in his eyes. Even then, see if you can stall.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute.
Hang on.
Yeah.
It's like, has Ulam just been like spreading the rumors? How long has he been here?
I don't think he's been here that long. I think I think Hoyt says like a year or something. I don't think that he could have like insinuated that into this mythology in that time. Somehow, like the legend of Marsh as Death has moved out into the universe.
Either that or no, because he's not telling it to people on Scadrial. He's telling it to people. I was like, maybe Hoyt is using that as a narrative tool, but no, that wouldn't make sense because he's not telling it to people on Scadrial. Either way, it would have to be.
Yep. It's like the readers know I love Marsh. Marsh is probably somewhere in my top 5 of characters from the Cosmere. But like, why is he here?
Yeah.
Come on, you can't just throw that out there.
Yes, it is frustrating because it's just the one line and we don't revisit it. So
yeah.
Dang you, Scuba Steve.
But I kind of love that over however long it's been since Mistborn Era 1, like Marsh, the legend of Marsh has just like gone out and has seeded other planets. That's kind of amazing.
Especially because like the last time we saw him in Lost Metal, he wasn't doing too good.
No, he was not. They got him more adium in the end of that, so he could last longer at least. But yeah,
maybe that was to Say's agreement. It's like here's your more adium. but you got to get the hell off my planet. And Marsha's like, it's my planet too. And Say's right, remember that time you tried to kill me? And Marsha's like, I was under mind control.
Technically, Ruin is now part of Harmony, so he's like, I was under your mind control
Oh shit, yeah.
when I tried to kill you. Yeah, this is awkward. I don't even how do pronouns
Yeah,
work at this point.
I'm about to use mine own control to kick your ass.
Oh man, yep. Maybe it does, leave that door open. Maybe we're gonna see Marsh out here someday.
Man, Marsha just had like Marsha's probably up there for like shittiest existence in the Cosmere. Like the poor guy.
You're not wrong. All right, we go to some introspective type stuff about the nature of time and how time is passing now that Tress is captain and people are happy and all that. We won't dig into that. But the interesting part is when she decides that I'm tired of lies and deception. I'm going to introduce Soleil, Anne, and Fort to Hank, Huck, whatever. Like I like now that he's like betrayed us. Joe was calling him Huck in his thing as opposed.
Yeah,
to
he's not beloved anymore.
He doesn't get.
He's not our beloved Hank.
You don't get
Yeah, deserve that
affectionate
name.
names.
Fair. And instead of anything negative, they're all just like, "Oh my gosh, Huck, you did so much to help us. We have to tell all the dogs so nobody accidentally steps on you." And Anne's like, "Yeah, we gotta get rid of that cat. I'll put it in a cage until we get to port, so it can't bother you." And then Soleil's sitting there like rubbing her chin, like, a rat on the crew. Tell me, what is your opinion on tiny pirate hats? I love that is her concern. It's amazing. And then
I will admit I did not expect this from Soleil. Like she never once struck me as that kind of person, but maybe she's just loosened up now that Crow's not around.
Maybe she just likes pets and we haven't gotten to see much of, that at the side of her. Spoiler, he turned out to be quite fond of them. It was honestly a little distracting.
Okay. So we've talked a bit about how in the last couple of episodes we talked about how apparently one of the complaints about this Sanderson, I think you brought it up, it's like there's a lot of modern slang being used. This is the one where I hit my limit. Spoiler? Oh man. No.
That never even occurred to me that is like a modern vernacular thing. But yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that one like pushed me over the limit. Like, okay, come on, you gotta knock it off now.
I think it bothers me less coming directly from Hoyd, as it is in this case, than it would in any other situation. But okay, yeah, it's fair.
I guess.
And so then Tress lays out all the information she has about the Sorceress's Island and how difficult this is going to be. And then she goes back to her cabin and spends like days working on trying to figure out how are we going to do this? How are we going to get through the Midnight Sea? How are we going to stop the unstoppable army? How are we going to get into the tower? And comes up with nothing. And she's beating herself up about it until Huck has become her valet. So when somebody knocks on the door, it's like, the captain bids you come in, he says. And they're like, okay, we've been working on the problems. Here's what we've come up with. And she's like, wait, do you guys have suggestions? This is awesome. And they have what I think seems like an excellent possible plan for handling the unstoppable army, where it's like, okay, we can't destroy them. We'll use what you've already come up with, the shots that make vines grab you and tie you up, to grab them. We don't have to destroy them. If they're not destroyable, we'll just hold them. And then Tress manages to come up with her own idea for getting through the creatures of the Midnight Sea. And with a little bit of experimenting with midnight essence spores, she finds out that like you can pit. Well, and she saw it with the one that Crow used against them. She somehow like overpowered it and made it just destroy itself. So that was like the key to this possibility. But you can pit your mind against the mind that's controlling them, with the midnight essence thing, and try to take it over. And so she says, I bribed it with my water, offering that in trade. Once it accepted, I took control and then dismissed it. And Anne's like, so wait, you think you can do this with the ones on the Midnight Sea? And Tress goes, well, I guess we're going to find out. And that's when Laggert shows up. And Laggert's like, I want to speak to you in private, Captain. Okay. And once everybody's gone, he's like, I demand that you shoot me. It's like, what?
What a thing. It's like, can I talk to you in private? Hey, I need you to shoot me now.
And
Like,
it's
wait,
like,
what?
For what I've done to you. And she's like, well, I told you you're forgiven. He's like, I know. I can't take the lies, Captain. I know what you're doing. You're trying to wait till I get comfortable, so then you toss me overboard. It's cruel.
Yeah, like I agree. I think it was Jack who said it. Like, I can't believe we've got feels now for what Laggart's going through. And you know that, like, I'm sure, I'm not the only person who's ever had anxiety, but living with the thoughts of what might happen and then having all of that in your brain to the worst case scenario, and then you're trying to like be a normal person while experiencing all of that in your head, and then it's not true. Like, oh, poor guy.
For me, I don't know if it goes as far as poor guy, but no, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
In this instance, I mean, I don't think he's not redeemed as an individual, but no one should have to go through that. Like, that's rough.
I like.
Much rather just be upfront about you walking the plank or whatever.
I like that he has worked up the courage to be like, just get it over with, do it, because that can't be easy to walk into someplace and be like, just kill me.
Yeah.
Tress is like,
Very true.
I'm not gonna kill you. He says, she says, I'm far too tired to pretend to understand what your mind is doing to you right now. I'm not gonna shoot you. If you insist on some sort of punishment, I can like put you in the brig or something. She's like, what, you really do that? Imprison me instead of killing me? She's like, I was never gonna kill you. What the I didn't even kill Crow.
I didn't even really want to imprison you, mate. Just go about your business.
And then we get Hoyd's thing. It's like, Laggart was not a smart man. True, the things he lectured people on could fill a dictionary, but what he actually knew would barely fill a postcard. That's a mean statement, but I liked it.
Yeah.
And in that moment, he understood. Tress wasn't going to shoot him. She wasn't going to toss him overboard. She wasn't playing tricks. She was being honest. She'd been kind. And that was the hardest thing he'd ever had to swallow. Like he'd grown up thinking that like mean and callous was just how people were, because that's how he'd always been treated. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, there's people who aren't like that? What the fuck? He was horrified because he'd realized at long last that there were people who felt the things they said. There were genuine people in the world. And he stumbles to the door and runs. Like, this is just too much to take. And Tress just watches him. He's like, huh. Yeah, all right, whatever. He didn't demand to throw him in the brig, so maybe it's fine. And then in the chapter, The Traitor, we get the betrayal. The crew shows up and it's like, Captain, there's a problem. We're almost out of food. We caught Hoyd here throwing these jugs, or about to throw these jugs out the back of the boat, which that's not good. You don't want to throw water out into the spores while you're sailing right through them. He's been throwing out the food stores for days. We have less than half of the food that we had before. Just about enough to reach the verdant sea if we leave now. And we haven't even seen birds out here except for twice, so we probably won't be able to like forage up food. And Hoyd says, I had to throw the jugs out as the food is lonely on the bottom of the sea. Also, Tress, how does your uncle feel about seagulls taking his jobs and or sandwiches? Which I don't know what that meant, but... And I love Ulam instantly. He's like, he's way too stupid to have done this on his own. Currently. He specifies currently. But yeah, you can see the ones he was tossing out were marked with chalk. And Hoyd says, the rat said my mission was absolutely vital. It's also a secret, so please don't tell Tress. And so she has to go and confront the rat. Like, okay, so we've trusted Huck, Hank this whole time. When Hoyd says here, like, the rat said my mission was vital, were you guys doubting? It was like, no, Hank wouldn't have done that. Or did you buy what Hoyd said?
I think I bought it based on what Hank / Huck, whatever, had been saying. He'd been kind of constantly being like, we really shouldn't do this. We shouldn't go there. So it kind of made sense to me. And it's resolved very quickly on page. But I was like, yeah, I mean, that makes
kind of
sense.
Extreme, but it does fit with what he was trying to get her to give up almost since they met.
I also didn't really think that Hoyd would have a reason or kind of the ability to lie about it.
Yeah, dumb Hoyd isn't creative enough to come up with a lie like that. That's a good point. So yeah, she goes back to her room and starts to talk to him, and she's having trouble. Like, how am I going to accuse this guy, my rat friend? And he's just like, Tress, you don't seem enthusiastic. It's like, I've discovered that our food stores are frighteningly low. somehow we lost count of how much we had, and we have to go back to the Verdant Sea. And Huck's like, oh, well, that's dreadful news, but I guess with everything that's been happening, it's not surprising. Yeah, we'll go to the Verdants and restock, and then... Oh, Hoyd talked, didn't he?
That's dreadful, you say.
To shreds.
To shreds, you say. Yeah. Huck. He gave me
And
up.
I like, she's like, you're really good at reading human emotions for a rat. Yeah, well, emotions are emotions. Doesn't matter the species. I'm sorry, Tress, I couldn't let you face the sorceress. For your own good, see? And then Hoyd has a whole thing about, like, saying it was for your own good that I did this thing means I don't trust you to make your own decisions. People don't take that well. And he says, oh, I know. I've said these words. I said them with 16 other people, in fact. Which, oh, okay.
Boom, law drop.
Were they telling God, like, we're here to kill you, but it's for your own good? Or were they telling someone else that? I don't know. And he doesn't even really argue. She's like, hey, it really hurts that you don't trust me, Huck. And he's like, I get that. You deserve better. So they have to put him in a cage because you can't trust him anymore. And one of the Dougs is like, hey, like, she's going to have to give the order to sail back. And the Doug's like, no, hey, let's keep going. If you don't mind, Captain, let's keep going to save that man of yours. We can eat Verdant for a little bit. Captain, we spent a month eating Fort's food. Then you started cooking dinners that didn't taste like they were scraped off the bottom of a shoe. We can do a little Verdant for a while. She's like got the loyalty of this crew so quickly, and it's sweet. So we still have the problem. We think we might be able to get through the Midnight Sea. We think we might be able to stop the unstoppable army. But how do we get in the tower? And she has some thoughts about that she still has to go through. And they reach the edge of the Midnight Sea, where the Crimson and the Midnight meet, and it's like, let's stop here for a minute. She goes to talk to Ulam, who says, I'm pleased to have you visit. Have you reconsidered my offer? And she says, thank you, but no, I'm rather attached to all of my toes. And he says, everyone is, dear. That's why the father invented scalpels. Does that mean the Lord Ruler invented scalpels? That's who they called father.
Yeah, I mean, that would have to make sense that he somehow invented them.
Or, knowing the Lord Ruler, someone else invented them and he claimed credit.
Yeah, that sounds more on target. Yeah.
or like, at the very least, somebody else invented them and he was just like, well, it all came from me. All of you came from me, so...
So therefore I invented it?
Yeah. All of this sounds like something Lord Ruler might have done. Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, he made all of his subjects sign those like contracts that you have to sign when you work for like think tanks, with like all of the prop things that you make actually belong to me.
There you go. It's good planning, really, in the long term, since he lives forever, or at least he thought he would. So she sits down with Ulam. She's like, Ulam, I can't defeat the sorceress. He goes, no, of course you can't. Everyone else is expecting me to, and I'm worried that I'm going to let them down. He's like, oh, hey, I can help you with that anxiety. I don't have to give you a sedative. You don't have to worry. No one expects you to defeat the sorceress. I'm pretty sure they're all expecting to die. So you won't disappoint them when the sorceress inevitably murders the entire crew.
Yeah, not helping, dude.
And then when that upsets her, he's like, oh, hey, that was just a joke. I don't think she can kill me. And I'm certain she can't kill Hoyd. So, hey, it won't be the whole crew that dies. Only most of them.
So you doubled down on it.
Oh, man. And then we get, like, the Hoyd perspective where it's like, his people lost something when they stopped being forced to imitate actual humans. They've all become increasingly themselves over the decades, which I guess may or may not be a good thing. But Ulam is legit the best doctor I've ever met. If you're easily stressed but need his help, I suggest you ask him to sew his mouth shut before he visits. He'll probably find it novel enough to try. And she calls him out on it, and Ulam is eventually like, okay, maybe you should snap at me more often. I forget sometimes what I've been told about the stresses mortals live under. Which, yeah, I mean, the Khandra are probably some of the oldest beings in the universe at this point. If you don't count shards, because they are, like, functionally immortal. Tensoon was, like, 300 years old when we met him, and they can just live. And he tells her that, like, you're not bullying these people and following you. You're offering them a chance to reclaim their humanity. They know they're partially to blame for the people Crow killed, and they want to prove that they're better than that. And she's like, Mom, I can't beat her. She's going to know that I'm coming. And he's like, oh, she probably already knows. She's probably looking forward to seeing what you try.
This conversation with Ulam's just a real... Yeah, it's a real bummer.
It's a downer for sure. And she eventually comes around and is like, so you've mentioned that Hoyd is like not exactly what I think. Is he really something greater than the sorceress? And Ulam's like, yeah, it's really difficult to judge stuff on that level, but I would say yeah. And then she's like, well, how did he get cursed then if he's like better than her? And Ulam says, I mean, even the most capable people can overreach their own capabilities, judge themselves to be more powerful than they actually are. But I actually think in this case, he says, if I were to lay down money, or more valuable, my favorite set of fingernails, I'd say he probably got cursed on purpose and is now having trouble getting out of it. And then Hoyd tells us, like, Ulam was unfortunately right. I honestly thought I would have sorted this out by now.
Like, I do want to see that scene where he's just like, you know, he just saunters up to the sorceress and is like, yeah, go ahead and curse me.
Just for fun? Yeah.
I want to see how long it's going to take me to figure this out.
I like a good challenge.
It's like Houdini putting, like, you know, hanging himself upside down in the curtains. Like, how long can I slip out of this?
He must have had a reason. There'll be something Hoyd's up to.
I mean, I feel like his reason might have been hubris.
Hoyd, I feel like even we don't often understand Hoyd's reasoning, but I kind of lean towards what Jaymee said, where I'm like, I feel like he usually has a reason to do, even if he isn't completely sure what the reason is. He usually has what seems like a good reason to do what he's doing. But I don't know. It's hard to tell because, like I said, we're not always privy to that.
Yeah, I still get confused. Like, obviously, we don't know enough about his backstory, but you know, this book at least tells us, or it seems to tell us, that he was a part of the 16 people. So, like, he's the 17th. Did he get something out of the conflict? Like, and if so, what did he get? Like, what is happening?
I think one of the letters in Words of Radiance or Oathbringer, whichever one, where we got multiple letters to Hoyd, it said, like, you had the chance to be something more and you chose not to. So like, get out of it now. So,
but like, what did he get nothing out of it? If so, where does his like weird
abilities,
power come from? Yeah,
it's a fair question. Someday we're gonna get the Dragon Steel books, which are supposed to answer all this stuff. So
he's like some kind of Time Lord.
He does feel very much like the Doctor at times. Yeah, I would buy that.
It's like, who are you, Hoyd? What Hoyd? Just the Hoyd.
That's at least less confusing than the Doctor, where it's like, okay, but what's your name? It's like, the Doctor.
What are you a doctor of? Just the Doctor.
Hoyd at least sounds like a name and not like a title.
Yeah.
But Tress concludes, it's like, so maybe I don't have to figure out how to defeat the sorceress. Maybe I just have to find a way to get Hoyd to defeat the sorceress. And Ulam's like, yeah, that might work. And that's when she decides, I'm going to go and out into the Midnight Sea alone. And she tells Soleil, and Soleil argues, like, that's crazy. Why would you do... She says that she's going to test her idea against the Midnight Essence by herself, so that she's not putting the entire ship in danger if it doesn't actually work. And Soleil's like, you should not do that. And then we get Hoyd talking about irony, which I won't dig into either, but they spend most of this last chapter, the monster, arguing where Tress wants to do this thing, and Soleil's like, no, you should not do that by yourself. You've done nothing but try to protect and help us. The crew knows it. They'll follow you. I will follow you, but I can't save my father yet. I can't save myself yet. Not until I help you and this crew. Soleil's like, we have to earn being good people again, basically. Also, I love the discussion about, like, she's like, well, we can't, like, just overrule you. We can't mutiny again. We can't make that the normal thing that happens, because that goes very badly in the long term when the solution to every problem is mutiny. And so eventually Soleil has to agree, because she can't overrule the captain if she's not going to, go that far with it. And Huck says, take me along. Bring me. You might need me. And she's like, okay, maybe. He has had information about this stuff, so... But yeah, they get out there in the boat, and a thing, the monster is the title of the chapter, starts swimming up to them. It's like, hey, why is this human sitting in this boat? And we get Hoyd's explanation of, like, actually, Tress's plan was not a bad plan. The sorceress can't pay attention to all of the creatures. She makes them in batches and then sets them loose with orders and maintains just a loose control. Because if she tried to actively direct a whole bunch of these, she would dehydrate and die. Which I guess explains some of the questions we had last time about that. And it's interesting. It's almost like a programming thing where it says she gives them these orders, because the way that it's described in here is like they have what does it say? The complex sets of commands that guided it converging on the owner of that voice, one it had been instructed not to eat. So it's like got a complex bunch of commands that it has to go through to be like, oh, I should not eat Huck.
It sounds like that's also how her curse works. It's like curses work. She like sets a bunch of commands for the curse, and it's like whatever is involved has to follow it.
Yeah, you're right. It was described similarly. That's interesting. Anyway, so yeah, she tries to Tress tries to take control of the thing, but the sorceress has anticipated this possibility. However, it says that if Tress had more practice at this, she probably could have managed it. But she was still new to this whole thing, and the sorceress, it should be noted, was not. So things were going to go bad until Huck speaks up. Stop. Take us to your mistress. I have free passage. And the chapter ends with Huck the rat had returned to the place where he'd been created as instructed by the sorceress.
Bum, bum, bum.
So yeah, that's a big old, like, what the... Because, as you guys pointed out, he's done everything in his power to make sure we don't come back here, as far as we can tell. Like, unless that's the biggest, like, reverse psychology move ever. But he was instructed by the sorceress. He was created here, it says, and was instructed to come back. So, predigments. Let's move into that. For next time, we're going to read the last 6 chapters and the epilogue. So, 59 through 64, and then the epilogue, and finish up this book. After which we will move into Dawn Shard. And I'm trying to decide if before we start the next book, we also want to go ahead and do that little book that I got y'all with King Lopin and Elsecaller, I think is the name of the other story. Technically, those both take place during Words of Radiance, so we're past at this point where they happen. There's no reason we couldn't read them. But they're also, like, they're not available, like, digitally or audiobook or anything like that. So a lot of people listening may not have actually read that yet. So I'm like, maybe we put it off a little longer and give it a chance to get out to a bigger audience before we talk about it. I don't know. I'm thinking it through. If you guys out there listening have opinions, feel free to share them on Discord or through email, and I will take those into account, but I'm debating whether or not we do those. Also, I need to figure out exactly how long they are and how many episodes they would be and stuff before we would do them. But anyway, so we're moving to Dawn Shard from here, but for now, we got one more week of Tress. What do you guys think is going to happen? This is a standalone book as far as we know. So Brandon has to sort this stuff out in this last 6 chapters and an epilogue. Where do you see it going? What's going to happen? What do you guys think?
Yeah, well, like I said, there's a lot of book that has to happen in a very short period of time. So I think, look, we're gonna meet the sorceress. I'm gonna say we are gonna get Charlie back. I feel like I'd be really disappointed if we got all this way and then didn't get Charlie back. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's another trade situation or something. I'm not sure. I think the sorceress will be, I don't know. We don't really know anything about her except that everyone's kind of afraid of her. So I don't really know what to expect there. I think my out of the box thoughts this week that Huck has been asked to return. Maybe it was on his own time, but now that he's there, he figures might as well do it. He's pretty well lost the trust of Tress and the rest of the crew now, so what's left to keep going the way he's going? I don't really know. So he's gonna go back. I think that maybe, and this is where it gets a little bit out of the box, so stay with me. Hoyd has been cursed. I think maybe the smarts that Hoyd has, or those moments of clarity that Hoyd has, I think he and Huck are tied together. So maybe smart Hoyd is now Huck, and they are one soul kind of split, I guess. This to me would explain why, Hoyd is always kind of in the right place at the right time. Huck was on the ship, ran into Tress, doesn't always know why Hoyd is somewhere. Like, he doesn't always know why he's in the right spot or why he needs to be where he needs to be, but Huck would know he needed to be there at this particular point in time. could explain why Huck and Hoyd had teamed up. Not teamed up, but like get Hoyd to do things on Huck's behalf.
Yeah.
But maybe like to break that curse, maybe they need to be back in the same place. You know, Hoyd hasn't been able to manage to do it because Huck doesn't want to. Maybe at this point, I don't know. Maybe there's advantage to being a rat. I don't know, being small and being to get around. I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking is maybe that they're kind of one. Get them back together. Hoyd's curse is broken. He can go off on his own merry way. You know, he's not thinking he needed to be cursed for that long, but maybe Hoyd needed to be less Hoyd-like to achieve something. So it wasn't necessarily having Huck being, you know, the smart rat being the thing, but having a less smart Hoyd was required at the time for something. I don't know, whatever Hoyd's up to. Yeah, but I think maybe that's how that will come together. Huck and Hoyd will be no separate entity anymore, and maybe bringing them back together. Maybe the sorceress wants that. If Huck has been, you know, told to come back, maybe that will kind of be the payment to get Charlie back. And then they'll sail off and be a happy close song crew with Charlie. And Charlie doesn't have a lot to go back to on the rock. So I think they will be quite happy to sail with the crew of the Crow Song and go off on their merry way and potentially sail places that other people won't go.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Charlie's dad has a new heir or whatever, so you're right. He might not have much worth returning for. He could be part of the crew. Yeah. I don't know what he might be able to do that would be useful on the crew, but we just don't know him that well yet.
Oh, Tress loves him. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah. Although you brought up one thing I'm curious about. Do you think we keep the name Crow's Song now that Crow is no longer involved with the ship?
Why not? I don't know what they call it. Huck's Song. I don't know.
Tress's locks.
Okay. No,
Tress's goblet.
I like where your head's at with the like the Hoyd and Huck thing. Hey, they both begin with H. You know, maybe that means something, maybe not. But
H in 4 letters, man.
Yeah, still, as far as we know, as far as we can confirm, the only talking rat is Huck. He says there's lots of them around and he's met with them, but apparently he hasn't been entirely truthful with us, so who knows? So yeah, if he's really like a special one-off, maybe it could be related to Hoyd's curse. That's a really good thought.
Also, it could be her thing. Maybe she's like, oh, you know, this rat thing works pretty well. Maybe, you know, he said he's got a family. Doesn't say they talk, though. You know, maybe there's a few of them that are getting together as smart soul split rats. I don't know.
That feels very like Circe from the Iliad or the Odyssey, whichever one she's in, where she turns men into pigs all the time. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Well, at the start of the episode, Data set the challenge. Like, think what, like, the hell of the coincidence that Huck and Tress wound up in the same place. I don't know if I quite got to a prediction as to why that happened. I've sort of got one there, but I've gone down a bit of a rabbit hole while this episode's been going on, and now I have got a volcano theory.
Oh no,
about Huck.
Okay.
Let's fucking go.
Wait, hold on. I gotta ask. Was Jaymee's like Huck is secretly like a part of like the intelligence of Hoyd? Is that like volcano theory material, or do you feel like that's more grounded than whatever you've come up with?
I am going to say that I don't know necessarily more grounded, but it's definitely a lot less melodramatic than what I'm about to get at.
Excellent. Okay, I love it. Let's do it.
Okay, so the sorceress created Huck, a talking rat. Maybe she's created many more talking rats, and I'll get to why. But maybe the sorceress is up to a similar thing of what the dragon was up to. She also wants like someone to work for her, and so she sends her talking rat Huck out into the world to find someone who would be a good apprentice. Like the dragon is more of a, you know, trade me someone, whereas the sorceress is a bit more discerning. It's like, no, you find me someone who will do well. Someone who accepts the sorcery of a talking rat without too much question. Someone who doesn't fear spores, anything like that. So Huck has passed from cage to cage because, hey, talking rat freaks most people out. They cage him up. And then finally he stumbles onto Tress, who ticks all these boxes. But Huck doesn't want to take Tress back. He has tried to dissuade her at every turn. He has sabotaged her efforts, blah, blah. And then finally, when it looks like the monster might kill her, he stops it because in a choice between her dying or her going to the sorceress, he would rather she be alive. And the reason is Huck is Charlie. You know, Huck, Chuck, Charlie. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like this maybe like all the people that the sorceress takes, she turns into rats or various other things for her purposes, and this was what she sent.
Oh, okay.
Like
I was so
she
lost for a second because you're like, she creates talking rats all the time, and then you're like, Huck is Charlie. And I was like, wait, what? But okay, no, she just turns all the different people into. Okay, I'm following you now. Sorry, I was
yeah,
I was
like she
lost.
like they say, oh, she takes people all the time and they're never seen again. Well, maybe because she turns them into something else and sends them back out into the world.
Okay.
So Charlie, he doesn't want Tress to know what happened to him, but he can't bear to let her go to the sorceress because he thinks like he thinks it's not going to end well for her. So he's been trying desperately to get her to stop, but also he can't bear to have her die. So like he has a way to save her life from the monster right there at the end. It's like I got to do this because I can't let her die. So yeah, there's my volcano.
That is an excellent volcano theory. I love that. I don't know if we've ever seen anything in Huck that makes me think like this person acts like Charlie in some way, other than, like you said, doesn't want Tress to die, which, hey, that's a pretty good qualifier for me. But I love this. This is a possibility that I want to see play out because
Yeah.
how does she react when she discovers the truth of that? Like, that would be crazy.
Oh, yeah, I've got no idea how it will actually play out when it happens. If it happens, it probably won't, because again, volcano. But I was just trying to figure out, okay, where's the connects all the dots? And then I just went, hang on, Huck, Chuck. Oh, we could do something with this.
I love that that's where we start. That is amazing, and I am on board with it.
Yep. Because I mean, we didn't really see too much of Charlie at the start of the book, so we
No.
don't know what he just loved to tell stories and and be modest and pretend he was less than what he was. And like, I guess that's sort of like Huck.
Yeah, sure.
But beyond that, we didn't really see too much of him, so it's hard to say how much Huck's personality in his lineup.
Yeah, you're right. We don't have much information. Mostly, I guess, the storytelling, which maybe Huck's done some of that. I don't even. I mean, he told her some stuff about like the rats he ran into on that one island, right? So yeah,
Yeah,
that might fit.
yeah.
We don't know if Charlie had a penchant for tiny pirate hats, but he could.
I mean, he liked dressing as a servant. He likes dressing as a pirate.
Yeah, sure.
There
Why
you go.
not? I am here for this theory. Okay, yes. This is one of the most fun volcano theories we've had in a while. I'm loving it. Oh, I'm sitting here picturing like what does that conversation look like when he admits who he is and if Charlie has been turned into a rat, like can we get him back? Like Tress has come all this way to rescue him.
I don't know. We like Jaymee said, we know nothing about the sorceress. So.
No, yeah. That would be an awkward relationship if he's a rat forever.
If Huck is Charlie, okay, you don't want her to die by the sorcerer's hand. You let it go on far enough, mate.
Just
It's not like he's not
say
being in
something.
danger.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point
Yeah.
too. Jaymee is the one who would figure that out, right? She's always like, just communicate. People like talk. Yeah, okay.
Yep. It's like, maybe he's just like that ashamed of being turned into a rat, and Tress is like, you vomited your guts up to not court a lady, but you're ashamed to tell me you're a rat. What the fuck, man?
I'd forgotten about that. And like all the stuff he went through to not have to marry some princess. Yeah. Oh, see, that's the kind of stuff where I'm like, I wish we had seen more of Charlie in this book. And hey, maybe he's Huck. Maybe we have. But it's just like he sounds like such a decent dude from the way that he like was so loyal to Tress. I could do like if they rescue Charlie and he comes and sails seas with them, like Jaymee theorized. I could do with a book of just like the two of them hanging out and stuff, having adventures.
Man, I like both you guys' theories. Mine was a little different. Although I'm liking both of yours, so now I'm like, oh man, should I try to tag on to one of those? Mine was more along the lines of he is I don't know, the way that like he's been acting, I almost feel like he is also a cursed person. So that kind of like lends more to both of Jack and Jamie's theories. I feel like either a part of Hoyd's intelligence or Charlie, which but it's like it's weird, right? Because if it was Charlie, I feel like the bond would be there unless part of the curse is keeping him from saying he's Charlie or something. I don't know. But anyway, so I just thought it was maybe a cursed person that met Tress and was like, oh, this seems like a nice person. And it's like, maybe that there is something to that, like apprentice deal, but it's like they have to, when they decide, oh, I like Tress, it's like, oh, well, I got to keep us from getting to the sorceress, but I can't say why because it's part of like the curse or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of as much as I came up with, is like that it's actually a cursed person. It being Charlie would be really interesting. It being a part of Hoyd's intelligence would be really interesting. And I was actually going to ask you, Data, because I can't remember when they met, where was that ship going that he was trapped on?
He said, I think, if I remember right, he said that he was heading to the rock, because she was like, why would you want to go there? And he didn't get off at the rock because they'd found him and stuck him in a cage.
Right. And did he explain why he wanted to go to the rock?
I feel like it was to visit family or see something. I don't remember exactly.
Okay. Well, then that almost makes me feel like it is like I'm leaning more towards Dak now. Like if he had family that he knew lived on the rock, maybe it's Charlie.
Charlie does have family on the rock. That's fair. Yeah.
Yep. Also, Tress is on the rock, so he would, have a reason to go see her. Yeah, I don't know. I like Dak's theory more and more. But yeah, I don't have anything as specific as what they came up with. Unfortunately, I like both their theories. I want them both. I can't decide which one I want to be true. But yeah, I definitely think that the rat is a cursed person because it feels like it's following the rat feels like it's following a set of programs, almost like the void monster she created. That must be her real superpower, is like programming.
she's just a nerd.
Yeah, she's just really good at programming.
She learned COBOL
what magic
and was just perfect.
Yeah, I mean, what magic system's really precise? I feel like breaths aren't super precise.
No.
The
soul stamping was very, very like fiddly.
Yeah, soul stamping's very precise. We haven't seen any stamps on things, but I guess the stamps fade away though, right?
No, the stamps stay in place unless you like.
Okay, so we haven't seen any stamps. What else is pretty precise that we know about? We don't know. I feel like we don't know enough about Stormlight.
Precise.
Yeah, Allomancy doesn't seem super precise. Stormlight doesn't seem super precise.
Ferrochem is kind of precise, and like you have to drop in certain amounts and pull out.
It's very specific, I would say. I don't know.
If it's specific. It's quantity specific, I guess you would say, right? It's like you have to use amounts.
Oh,
Elantrian magic is kind of precise, isn't it? Because they have to like draw.
You have to draw it just right, or it doesn't work.
But
right?
that was their whole thing. It's like the reason it wasn't working was because no one knew you had to change like one line to make it more precise.
Yeah. I guess maybe it could be. So maybe the sorceress could be like an Elantrian or some other kind of, if they're not a shard, which we don't really know. But yeah, maybe they're an Elantrian or some other like precise branch of investiture magic. That'd be interesting. But I don't, I'm just spitballing here because I couldn't come up with anything real good.
No, there's a logic to that where it, like, whatever she's doing with these curses, she might have a magic system that works in a similar way to what we're seeing. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, which we didn't get. Elantris is that it's such a singular book, and the magic system is not working correctly for them for most of the book. It was kind of hard to figure out like how it works. And we've got bits and bobs over time, right? We got when what's her face made herself into an Elantrian, and then a little bit of stuff from Secret History, but we didn't really know what was going on then.
It's true. That was before we'd read Elantris, so yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'll go with. I'll say like the sorceress is some kind of Elantrian, because that sounds. I can't think of that seems like the most precise magic we know about, and then yeah, Huck or Hank is some kind of cursed person, whether it's Charlie or Piece of Hoyd. I like it. I like them both.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, so how does that fit with Hoyd intentionally went and got one of these curses? Like if it's a magic system that we've encountered before, then that kind of throws out the window. Like he was seeing, he was experimenting and trying to see, like, out of hubris, like, hey, let's see if I can get out of this curse. Because if it's awakening, he probably knows enough about awakening already that it wouldn't be like that sort of challenge. And we know that he was on Cell during the events of Elantris, so he probably knows some stuff about that also. So would he have another reason then for having?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well, this is you guys all have some really great, like, called shots here. Maybe it's because we're coming to the end of the book and we're gonna have to do so much in so little time, but I love all of the things that are happening here. This is great. Getting away from Stormlight a little bit has rejuvenated our predigging some, which was part of the idea, so that's nice.
Yeah, it was difficult. With Bringer to start predicting stuff. It's just like, oh, such an epic. Who knows what's gonna happen?
Well, okay, let's do like an email or two, and then we'll wrap up. We got one from Jenna, and it is titled "Mom Stuff." Hello, crew. I've been listening to the podcast since summer of 25. I picked up most of the way through The Final Empire in a reread. I was pregnant when I started listening, and now have a 4-month-old. I have a feeling she'll be a Sanderson fan with all that she's overheard in this early development. I've loved hearing the takes on all these Sanderson books. It's like a book club on my own schedule. I went out of order. I know. Data picked all of this with great care. And just returned to read along with Elantris, grouping after Mistborn Era 2 and Warbreaker. And it took me ages to realize that I kept thinking my baby was waking up, in the back seat as I drive, or the monitor as I listen while she naps. But I'm hearing Dak and Jaymee's baby. It's a fun connection across the years to be in a similar stage. Jaymee, thanks for returning to the podcast postpartum. You really complete the crew. Data, thanks for putting all this together. I love being part of it. Dak and Joe, thanks for contributing to the discourse and making me laugh, even though I don't understand many, all in caps, of your references. Looking forward to catching up someday. Wasing to the time of next, from Jenna.
Yeah, I often worry about that. We make some pretty specific pop culture references that if you aren't a fan of those properties, you're gonna be kind of like, what are they talking about? But hey, man,
I try not to worry about it.
Yeah, I was about to say I can only be me. That's all I know how to be.
Some people get it, some people don't, and then we go on to the next one, and some people get that one, and some people don't. It's fine.
That's true. Because we don't, I guess that's true. We don't stick just to Futurama, although it is primarily Futurama.
There's a lot of Futurama.
If you haven't watched Futurama and you ever want to know what we're talking about, give it a watch. First 4 seasons, great. Dak says several of the other seasons are also good.
Just imagining people seeing like Hedonism Bot for the first time after just hearing the impression.
Our impression of Hedonism Bot. Oh.
It's just the heard around the world.
Yeah,
it all makes so much sense now. I love this. It's like, wait, has my baby woken up? No, that's Dak and Jaymee's baby.
Yeah,
that's the other baby.
I simultaneously laugh and hold it.
We have a couple of shorter ones that are more recent, but we'll hit those and then we'll wrap up. They're both about the same thing. This one is called Discworld from Kay. And Kay says, "Hi, Data. Just chime in regarding Discworld. Almost every Discworld fan agrees that the first book is not necessarily the best to start with. As I said, I have heard that. The Discworld series
just like Dresden.
Yeah. The Discworld series grew into what it is along the way, and the books are also divided into several sub-series. I have not read every Discworld book because there are so many, but I absolutely love every book in the Death sub-series. Also, the Watch sub-series gets a lot of praise, even though I have not read those. Based on how I know you all, parasocially of course, I would suggest either Mort, the Death sub-series, Guards, the Watch sub-series, or The Truth and or Going Postal, both from the Industrial Revolution sub-series. The first 2 books are IMO and Acquired Taste. I appreciate them now, but would not start new readers there. Also, you don't have to read all the books at all. I think I've read maybe a total of 15, and I'm satisfied with that. I'll read more if I want, but I don't feel compelled to. Cheerio from Kay." That is a nice thing to be able to be like, yeah, you can just read some of them. Like, there's no impetus to have to read all of them, that's not something you see with series, in generally speaking. But yeah, like I said when we talked about it before, the watch ones I have thought about reading. So maybe I'll get around to it someday when I have less on my. I just added another giant book to my TBR pile that's sitting next to my desk because my wife was getting rid of a bunch of books that she had and ended up not deciding she wasn't going to read when she moved her bookshelves around. And she's like, "Hey, this one might interest you. It is called When the Moon Hatched, book 1 of the Moonfall series." And so it sounded vaguely interesting. But it is like a Brandon Sanderson thick paperback book. So maybe I will.
It's total Richard.
Yes, exactly.
I miss talking about Richard. He was like our mascot. we don't get enough Richard talk these days.
We've just gotten like so used to the thick books that they don't seem so remarkable anymore.
Yeah.
And one more in a similar vein. This one's from Jaymee. Discworld series. Hello, Sanderlanche crew. Just listened to your most recent Tress episode where you mentioned the Discworld series. I had some colleagues recommend it to me who also knew some of my reading preferences. They suggested starting with the City Watch subseries. It's only 8 books and begins with Guards. I found a lot of enjoyment with each of the books, and having just a short subset of the multiverse to read makes it feel more accessible. Data, if you decide to test Discworld again, I suggest going that route. Take care and hope to hear all 4 voices again next week. Oh yeah, there's always people who's like, wait, Jaymee didn't make it this week, but they love Jaymee.
Sorry, folks.
So we still have several emails in here. A couple of them are like, we're gonna have to wait till like Rhythm of War late book to read these, so they'll be in there for a while. And some of them we can still read, and we just haven't gotten around to yet. But we made a little dent this time. If anyone wants to send us an email, the address is thesanderlanche@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram and Facebook and places like that on the interwebs. If you want to get a misting power, you can leave us a 5-star review and email a picture of it to that email address, thesanderlanche@gmail.com. And Joe will jump you into the misting crew and assign you a misting power. Or you can join us.
You get no choice in the matter.
No, yeah, we had somebody be like, I don't need one. Joe's like, well, you're getting one, dang it. And if you want to join our Patreon, where by this time I should have finished posting my first reactions to Isles of the Emberdark, Joe will assign you a faring power. And if you do both, you can be a Twinborn, as somebody emailed us last week talking about their Twinborn abilities. So all that's out there if you're interested. Remember, for next time, we're doing 6 chapters and the epilogue, which will bring us to the end of Tress of the Emerald Sea. So if you're following along, just keep reading until there's no more book in that book, and you'll be there. And if you want to keep following along after that, make sure you get a hold of Dawn Shard, which is one of the first things that we're going to read. That one of the first like short story novella things that is not contained in Arcanum Unbounded, like most of the other ones have been. So you got to go out and get your own separate copy of Dawn Shard if you want to follow along. So yeah, 6 chapters and an epilogue for next time. Music by Miracle of Sound, and Wuzzing to the Time of Next. Colo, P.S. Fasher. Crab back.